The best shooters of all time. I'm talking about shooters that are so memorable that you can always keep coming back to and always keep playing it. I'm talking about the best shooters that actually get you wanting to stay up on a school night. I'm talking about the best shooters that you constantly are thinking about. Now these are the best shooters of all time. Me, the greatest gamer of all time, and right now we're going to be talking about Borderlands, Doom, and something else as well to keep you guys entertained. These are the best shooters, and I picked them because of the storyline, maybe the gameplay is just addictive, maybe there's just countless things. Let me tell you, they're the best shooters, and you need to play them if you're super serious as a gamer. Anyways, let's get into it. Released in September 2012, Borderlands 2 quickly became a landmark title in the world of gaming. Almost a dozen years later, its impact remains profound. Let's take a closer look at what makes this game unforgettable. First and foremost, Borderlands 2 is celebrated for its unique blend of first-person shooter mechanics and RPG elements. I mean, when I was a nerdy kid, this made my left eye twitch, because how awesome it was. The gameplay is fast-paced and exhilarating, with a rich array of weaponry and skills that cater to your diverse playstyles. Look at these weapons. Oh my god, look at the weapons. Look at the weapons. Oh my god. The game procedural's generation system ensures that each loot drop is a fresh experience, and the countless weapon mods and upgrades create a near endless variety of combat strategies by just blowing people up. The character classes are a standout feature, whether you are a gun-tooting Salvador, a mystical Maya, a tactical Axton, or a stealthy Zero. Each character brings a unique playstyle and personality to the table. Also keep in mind, Borderlands 2 did have the DLC characters, but Borderlands 3 didn't have the DLC characters. They had DLC skill trees. I don't know why. I have no idea. The distinctive abilities and skill trees not only allow for personal customization, but also encourages cooperative play, making team dynamic crucial in tackling the game's challenges. But also, just the Gunzerker is just extremely broken. Dude, come on. He can wield a gun that heals you and then do so much damage to you. Wow. Moving on to the storyline, Borderlands 2 excels in creating a captivating narrative. The game introduces players to Pandora, a vibrant yet dangerous world ruled by the psycho handsome Jack.
I'm sorry, what was your name?
Pierce.
Well, Miss Pierce, and please don't tell me it's Mrs. Pierce and break my heart, this string doesn't belong to you, so why don't you turn around and face me, Pumpkin?
This train was commandeered legally under the...
Holy nutballs! What happened to your freaking face? I'm racking my brain trying to think of a name for that diamond pony I bought. I was going to call it Piss for Brains in honor of you, but that just feels immature. Hey, maybe Butt Stallion? Nah, that's even worse. I'll tell you what, I'll give it some more thought. Okay, how about this? Lady, I don't even know what to call you. You tell me why you look like you headbutted a belt sander, and I'll let all of you go right now.
My husband gave me a skag pearl ring. The pearl released hunger-inducing pheromones.
Oh, you know what? I am so sorry. I just, forgive me. Where's your husband now?
He's dead.
That is a heartbreaker. But you got something in common with him now, at least.
His over-the-top villainy and memorable one-liners provide a constant source of entertainment and drive the plot forward. The quest to overthrow Jack and uncover Pandora's secrets is filled with twists and turns and dark humor that keeps players invested from start to finish. But what truly cements Borderlands 2 as a classic is its enduring community. Even after all these years, players continue to flock to Pandora. The game's cooperative gameplay, rich lore, and dynamic content keeps fans engaged. Whether it's through mods, fan-made content, or regular community events, Borderlands 2 has maintained a vibrant player base. Just take a look on YouTube alone. People actually still make YouTube content for Borderlands 2 because of how great of a game it is. The game's distinctive humor also plays a major role in its lasting appeal. From its irrelevant dialogue to its offbeat missions, Borderlands 2 is infused with a personality that sets it apart from other titles. This charm have left an undeniable mark on gamers' hearts. In essence, Borderlands 2 is more than just a game. Its phenomenon, its innovative gameplay, charismatic characters, and engaging storyline have solidified its place in gaming history. As long as there are games who cherish cooperative chaos and unforgivable adventures, Borderlands 2 will never be forgotten. There's games like Destiny, but boy oh boy, it's not the same compared to Borderlands. So if you have not played it yet, please do, because it's an experience that you won't want to forget. But you might want to forget the movie, I don't know. Diving into the explosive world of Borderlands 3, a game that came out with guns blazing, capturing the hearts of looter-shooter fans worldwide. But as quickly as it rose to the top, it seemed to fall just as fast. Well, what happened? How did Borderlands 3 go from being one of the most anticipated games of the decade to a title that many felt missed the mark? Buckle up, because we're about to take a deep dive into the rise and fall of Borderlands 3. Let's rewind the clock to 2012. Borderlands 2 had just dropped, and it was absolutely phenomenal. With its signature cel-shaded art style, over-the-top humor.
Please stop.
What the hell?
That must have hurt.
A dying puppy. A baby in tears. If the previous statement elicited any emotional reaction, report to your supervisor for summary destruction.
You're attacking the end of my shit! Why am I floating? Tell my wife she's a
An endless loot. It set the gold standard for what a looter shooter could be. Fans were immediately clamoring for a sequel, including me, by the way, because holy Jesus Christ, where was Borderlands 3 at the time? And Gearbox Software had their work cut out for them. For years, rumors swirled and anticipation grew. Borderlands the pre-sequel offered a taste, but it wasn't enough to quench the thirst. Then, in March 2019, the wait was over. Gearbox officially announced Borderlands 3 with a trailer that sent shockwaves through the gaming community. New characters, new worlds, new guns. It was everything fans had dreamed of and more. The hype train was full steam ahead, and nothing could stop it. Or so we thought. Gearbox wasn't just aiming to meet expectations, they wanted to exceed them. They promised a bigger, better, and more chaotic experience with the largest arsenal of guns. The storyline was teased to be epic, spanning multiple planets and diving deeper into the lore of the Borderlands universe. It was shaping up to be a looter-shooter masterpiece. And let's not forget, Borderlands pre-sequel, the ending of that actually made us feel like the storyline of Borderlands 3 was gonna be really, really epic. September 13, 2019, Borderlands 3 finally drops, and it's an instant hit. The game sold over 5 million copies in its first 5 days, becoming the fastest selling title in 2K's history. Critics praised the game's gunplay, humor, and the sheer amount of content. Fans were thrilled to the jump back into the chaotic world of Pandora. and beyond. The addition of new characters like Amara, Mose, Zane, and Flak gave players a fresh set of Vault Hunters to master, each with unique abilities and playstyles. The Calypso twins, Tyrene and Troy, were introduced as the new antagonists, bringing a new level of menace to the story. The game was packed with content, from the main storyline to side quests, challenges, and of course the hunt for legendary loot. It seemed like everything was going according to plan, but as the honeymoon phase faded, some cracks begin to show. Players started noticing bugs, and lots of them. Glitches ranged from annoying to game-breaking, and the performance issues on PC and consoles were hard to ignore. Despite multiple patches, some of these problems persisted, leaving players frustrated. Then there was the story. While the gameplay loop of Borderlands 3 was undeniably fun, the narrative didn't resonate with everyone. The Calypso twins, while menacing, didn't quite live up to the charisma of Handsome Jack from Borderlands 2. The humor and trademark of the series felt forced at times, and the writing didn't always hit the mark. Now, a controversial opinion, but Borderlands is not known for their story, just gameplay. Let's just take a look at Borderlands 1 for example. There was no storyline at all, and a very forgettable villain. I'm not joking, I had to look up the villain's name in Borderlands 1 because I really forgot. Anyways, let's not forget the loot system. While there was tons of guns, many felt that the sheer volume of loot diluted the excitement. Legendary drops became so common that they lost their sense of rarity and accomplishment. The initial issues could have been overlooked, but then came the community backlash. The game's creative director, Randy Pitchford, made headlines during E3 2019 by denying the presence of microtransactions in Borderlands 3, despite the existence of cosmetic DLC. This moment fueled a wave of controversy and mistrust among the fan base. Online forums and social media were flooded with criticism. Longtime fans of the series voiced their disappointment, not just in the game's flaws, but in the perceived disconnect between Gearbox and its community. The post-launch support, while frequent, didn't always address the issues players were most concerned about, leading to further frustration. Once again, I want to bring up Borderlands 2 in this. There was a lot of DLC, and I mean a lot of DLC. Despite the rocky start, Gearbox wasn't about to give up on Borderlands 3. Over the next year, they rolled out several DLC packs, each bringing new content to the game, from Moxie's heist of the Handsome Jackpot to Guns, Love, and Tentacles. The DLCs aimed to reunite the spark that had initially drawn players in. These expansions introduced new storylines, characters, and areas to explore, and were generally well received by the community. The humor felt sharper, and the new settings were imaginative. And the boss fights were some of the best in the game. For many, the DLCs were a return to form, offering a glimpse of the Borderlands magic that had captivated players in the past. However, even with the success of the DLCs, Borderlands 3 couldn't sustain its momentum. The looter-shooter genre had evolved, and games like Destiny 2 and Warframe were offering live service models that kept players engaged with constant updates and events. Borderlands 3, with its more traditional approach, struggled to keep up. The player base began to dwindle, and while the core fanbase remained loyal, many moved on to other games. The issues that plagued the game at launch left a lasting impact, and for some, no amount of post-launch content could fully erase the disappointment. So what's the legacy of Borderlands 3? It's a game that soared to incredible heights, but was also a victim of its own ambition. It tried to capture the magic of its predecessor while pushing the franchise forward, but in the process it stumbled. Yet, it's also a game that offered countless hours of fun, memorable characters, and a world that many players would never forget. The story of Borderlands 3 is a cautionary tale for developers about the dangers of overpromising, the importance of post-launch support, and the need to stay connected with your community. But it's also a reminder that at its core, the Borderlands series is still beloved by many. And who knew? Maybe the next installment will learn from these lessons and bring the franchise back to its former glory. Alright, that's enough of Borderlands. Now, it's time to move on to another shooter. Doom is the best shooter of this generation. I don't care what you think. Why are you going to play a game that's like, okay, let's move here, okay, let's move here, instead you can be like, what's going on? Oh my god, I'm over here, oh my god. Look, Halo had its time, but Doom was great from the beginning and arguably never really had a bad release. Doom makes all the other shooters so boring, and honestly, that's actually what's been going on. First-person shooters have been kind of boring lately. Doom changed that and decided to make every encounter as exciting like the last. The new Doom is coming out, and it's like, pretty, excuse my French, dope. Halo is still trying to fix their stuff, and COD is finding ways how they can monetize BO6. First person shooters used to be just shooting guys, no monetization, just shooting. Wow. But let's take a look at why Doom is destroying first person shooters. Doom 2016 was coming out, and these young little lads didn't know what Doom is. Look at his stupid eyes. But everyone would come to know Doom Guy. Doom came out with this fast-paced gameplay and a chainsaw that refills your ammo. And a freaking chainsaw. I mean, if this game came out when I was a little kid, I'll be like... Gameplay wasn't all about going to cover like I said earlier. It was about to see how much damage you do. The skin falling off the body parts, the music blasting. It's like an all-you-can-destroy buffet. Every encounter feels like a symphony of chaos, demanding quick reflexes and a strategic thinking. The fluid movement mechanics keep you on your toes, whether you're dodging demon fireballs or charging headfirst into battle. Doom's arsenal is a love letter to classic shooters with a modern twist. Each weapon feels distinct and powerful, and the upgrade system allows for personalization based on your playstyle. But let's move on to Doom Eternal. Okay, right off the bat, I hate these Marauders. I just want to get that out of the way because yuck, I really hate them. Anyways, but Doom Eternal isn't just about mindless shooting, it's about mastering the art of demon slaying with precision and strategy. The addition of the new dash and meat hook mechanics adds a layer of mobility and finesse that keeps every encounter fresh and exhilarating. You need to constantly adapt, prioritizing targets, managing resources, and executing perfectly timed glory kills. I'm sorry. Sorry folks, it's just, ooh, those glory kills. If you're not looking like this at the end of your playthrough, then something's wrong. Doom Eternal proved everything great from Doom 2016. Doom Eternal expands on the iconic weapons of his predecessor, introducing new tools of destruction. Each weapon feels distinct and powerful, with the ability to modify and upgrade them to suit your playstyle. The Slayer's abilities are also enhanced, offering new ways to traverse the battlefield and unleash devastating attacks on your demonic foes. From the depths of hell to the ruins of Earth, Doom Eternal delivers a jaw-dropping visual. Wow, just look how pretty this stuff is. The attention to detail in enemy design and environmental storytelling adds layers of depth in the world, making each level a visual masterpiece. Dynamic lighting and particle effects further enhances the atmosphere, creating an experience that as breathtaking as it is terrifying. But even though I say a bunch of nice things about Doom Eternal, its multiplayer isn't that great. I think that's where you can argue that Doom isn't the best shooter of this generation, but in all honesty, I haven't felt this way since Halo 3. Doom's campaign is a enjoyable experience and worth $60, and now there's a reason why I'm talking about this. Doom Dark Ages is coming, baby, and I think that's going to blow the water off what the... Man, you guys hear that? What the hell? Who's interrupting my script? Oh my god. Alright, let's talk about the final game. And the reason why I love this shooter, let me tell you, it has a great storyline that's hidden underneath. And not only that, it actually took the world by storm. Let's find out what I'm talking about.
We thank you, Helldivers, for following orders and always doing what you are told.
Guys, don't you see? The government is trying to control you! Wake up! Wake up!
Sorry, Helldivers. That was just another traitor that needed to be taken out.
That's right, folks. I'm doing a deep dive on Helldivers because there's some lore that is missing, and I think it's because the government doesn't want you to know. Helldivers 2 built up a community where everyone feels like they are part of this game, part of a big difference. But what if I told you that's what the government wants you to feel? I'm talking about the fact that Super Earth took away your rights to vote. I'm talking about the government has such a good marketing strategy that it affects us even in real life. Helldivers 2's government could be wiping some things underneath the rug, changing the whole story. And I feel like no one is talking about it. Let's start off with the managed democracy, where it's a quiz that decides where your vote should go to. As quoted, utilizing the computer-aided voting software, citizens are asked to answer several questions and the outcome of their vote is decided upon by the computer. This removes the uncertainty that exists in the old systems where voters didn't understand fully where they were voting for, giving us managed democracy. But that's not all. The bugs that we're fighting, they turn into oil. The government doesn't want you to fully exterminate the bugs, no, but instead only eliminate them for them to be far away from Super Earth. You see, the government actually is possibly making these bugs last. In Helldivers 1, they were fully gone, but somehow came back and actually evolved somehow, which doesn't make sense unless someone purposely resurrected the bugs. But that leads to our next faction, the robots. All this propaganda with those robots doesn't really make sense. Something isn't right here. Theories are being spread around how these robots are actually lost Helldivers, and how maybe it's someone who is creating them to fight back the democracy to have our freedom again. You see, folks, we're not the heroes in the story. We are the villains. The robots may look scary, but I bet you they're nice and cuddly, you know. They're cuddly buddies on the inside. Is that right, buddy? Yeah. But anyways, the robots, or should I say the ones that tried to declare their independence, but we here in our government don't allow that, do we? We, the collective from Cyberstan, anonymously asserted our independence from Super Earth. We have the right to defend our home from the brainwashed Helldivers. Our children, the automatons, will not suffer as we have under the oppression of Super Earth. End quote. But that didn't go so well, and instead more powerful robots needed to be created. You see, the automatons are descendants of the cyborgs fought in the first game, creating to continue fighting against Super Earth and one day liberate the cyborgs from their warranted enslavement on Cyberstan. Now folks, take a listen to this message.
Do you know what will happen when you lose? Nothing. We will not enslave you. We will not decimate you. We will not take your home. We will return to Cyberstan and rebuild what you destroyed. And we will leave you alone. We will give you the grace and the peace that you have withheld from us. But until then, heart, steel, we kill.
Now hold up, guys. Before we continue, make sure you leave a like, make sure you leave a comment, and make sure you subscribe, because you know what? I try to post content every week. So please show your support and subscribe.
Helldivers, I need you to remain focused. Remember what we're fighting for: democracy.
Hey, you still there? Oh my god, I thought they cut the connection out. Well, look, we have to dive into the Super Earth lore. Something is missing in the past, something they're not telling us. Looking at Super Earth conditions, we have some areas blocked off. They talk about the Great War, but not with who. But whoever it was, they are a dictator, controlling the whole world now, having people blindly following command, not even questioning the ridiculous laws they have in place. Like, for example, questioning official government narratives, being a hippie, calling for peace with the cyborgs, having a child without a government issue permit, doing science the government doesn't like, which also explains why we destroy certain science facilities, publishing an article on the GWW exposing Super Earth's lives. You see, whoever this individual is playing it very stealthy, very hidden, but also someone who controls everything and is right in front of our noses. Joel, our game master, or should I say the person who's the leader of Super Earth, the person who resurrected the bugs, and the person who's trying to make sure the rebels are gone forever because he knows if the public finds out, he will be in deep trouble. You see, Joel is only referenced as the game master, but we don't know about him. We don't even know if he is a person or an AI or a brain trapped in a computer like Mr. House in Fallout. We know he controls the game. We as a community make jokes about it, but he controls everything. Since the Great War, he's been in power for so long. It's time for us to go against Joel and save our people from being brainwashed.
It's over now. Helldivers, get back to work.